You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. We have a good philosophical, political, economic question about libertarianism. And so I had to sit and kind of think about it a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, wait, it's this. And I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. Serves me right for not thinking with my old brain. From our Italian agent in the field, I'm starting to believe libertarianism is a privilege of high IQ individuals. Furthermore, if most people are complete NPC retards, we need to orient society towards conservatism, since most people will trend towards degeneracy as we are seeing today. If we are to take the view of do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone approach, people will do drugs, drink, and not be productive members of society. What are your thoughts? My immediate thought after reading it the second time was like, so? And so what we have to do is we have to remove theoretical, academic, general intent philosophy. What is the core philosophy of libertarianism? And remove it from whatever political economic system is currently implemented today in the U.S. or wherever else. So let's remove. We don't live in the United States anymore. We don't live in here. Let's just talk about libertarian. Libertarianism is ultimately maximum freedom, maximum personal responsibility. And so if people are idiots and they make dumb choices, how is that my problem? How is this my responsibility? Someone decides to major in English and signs a $200,000 student loan debt at 7%, and she gets fat and lippy, so now even a guy can bail her out. Now she wants a student loan. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Same thing, whatever. That's more financial. But let's talk about social. If a woman wants to have an abortion, I honest to God don't care. I might have some moral qualms with it, but that's not me. You're not someone I know. I don't care. Get out. I don't even want to worry about it. Get out of my face. Someone wants to own a gun. All right. I don't care. Go do your thing. Whatever. You want to do drugs. You want to go hang out in Reno with Chad and Atham and do a bunch of dopey drugs. Go and giggle like little schoolgirls. As long as you're not hurting anyone, but I don't care. But the other thing is, if I have to care, now comes responsibility. Oh no, there's poor people. We must do something. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta work on that. I'm too selfish of an individual. I'm not a tyrant either. I want to tell a person what to do. The last job I ever want is be a politician, let alone a tyrant. I don't want to be Vladimir Putin. I don't want to be Xi Jinping trying to get 1.4 billion people to think the correct way. I don't want to be Joe Biden like, hey, you really ought to hate white penis. You really ought to hate people who work harder than you. You really ought to be jealous. I don't know. No, I got enough problems. And so libertarianism is just simple sovereignty. The ultimate sovereignty lays within the individual. And unless you're hurting someone else, all right, it does. Not only is it not your responsibility, you shouldn't care. Now, if you individually choose to help out someone because you want to, okay, that's fine. That's your choice. That's your time. You care. Go help charity. Go help poor people. Piss away your time. I don't know. Maybe it makes you feel good. I don't care. You do whatever people do drugs. At least they get something out of it. You want to help poor people and never make them, get out of pot. I don't waste your time. That's fine. But on a purely philosophical, political, it's the individual takes care of him or herself, and they are not responsible for other people. That's it. So he goes to, if we have to take the view of do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt approach, people will do drugs, drink, and not be productive members of society. Oh, well, I guess they'll be poor. Now, if you want to now put libertarianism in the context of the United States economy, which is what I think you're talking about, where you have people who do drugs, drink, not be productive members of society, well, that would still be fine if this was 1900. Because in 1900, we didn't have a welfare state. State, federal, and local taxes took 3% of people's GDP, of people's income. And so we had very minimal government. You had a little bit of a military, judicial system. I don't think we had a Department of Transportation back then. But and more modernly, I'd say to have a functional state, especially if you're going to build roads and have some kind of regulatory agencies, which my libertarianism, I'm not an anarchist. I would say if you look at actual budgetary figures, it's 10% GDP. Curiously enough, $1 in $10 goes to the tithe to the church. All right. That's how much you need. But if there's no welfare state, again, what do you care? Oh no, there's people cutting off their junk, and it's not my junk. I don't care. Oh no, to show you how indifferent I am. All right, let's go through a scenario. Come on a journey with me. Everyone ready for the journey? You all got your journey pack sacks? All right, let's go. Let's go to this magical land called Minnesota, where all the men are ballast sacks of simpy wonder. Okay, and strong, independent whamans who all graduate from McAllister with lots of student loan debt, financed by daddy and the government. They bark the orders and they wear the pants in the family. Now, let's say, what would be a good Minnesota man? Sven. No, Yaden. Okay, Yaden marries whatever the hell her name is. Doesn't matter. Fresh out of whatever worthless degree school she got. And they have a child, and said child is born a girl. And at the age of 13, she goes to school because the teachers and the media and all that said, it's really cool to cut your tits off and hate boys. You don't want to be a cisgendered girl, do you? And she succumbs to the popularity thing. Teachers are beating it into her. All right. And Yaden, the dad, she comes in, tells Mom, Dad, I want the trans surgery. Right now, that is Yaden's kid. There, because parents are responsible, and kid at 13 doesn't know what they're doing. At that point, I'd say, well, you put libertarianism on hold as a young child. You say, hey, sweetheart, look, we'll love you no matter what, but why don't you hold off before you make a permanent life-altering decision? Why don't you wait till you're 18, see how you feel? All right. But not with Yaden's wife. Yaden's wife is absolutely 100% motivated and derives her value from edgy leftist politics and cannot wait for her thing. I mean, that's what people look at their children as things. Her thing to brag on social media about how her daughter is trans or whatever, wants the surgery. That, all right. I don't care if the mom makes off with the daughter at the dark of night and gets the surgery done behind Yaden's back. Don't care. Not my family, not my child, not my problem. Okay? Because it doesn't cost me a dime unless they were going to pay for it with taxpayer money. Where you probably have a problem is we have a welfare state that pays for these people, that bails people out, not people who want trans surgery. That doesn't mean you're a parasitic. You have a problem with the people who sit on their asses, fake mental illness to get disability checks. Woe is me, I'm born with the skin color or the gender that isn't making me $100,000 a year with my journalism, whatever. You're sick and tired of paying for the parasites because now you are responsible for these people's mistakes. To which I would say, all right, well, then get rid of the welfare state. But don't say, well, we got to do something. Whoa, what's this we? And what's this should? No. So you're now from in other words, libertarianism isn't it's not incongruent without a welfare state. And now that we have a welfare state, yes, now we are responsible for paying for other people's mistakes. Whereas libertarianism would simply argue, get rid of the welfare state. And if people are going to make bad decisions, oh well, let them starve. And this is where I think if we were to go into maybe evolutionary psychology or economic psychology, our main problems all hail from unearned money. You know that. All the people who can't find it, all these people, oh, I can't find a job. I have autism. I have Asperger's. I have Ritalin. I have this. I have that. I'm this skin color. I'm that type of gender. I don't know what gender I am today. Boo hoo hoo. I'm oppressed. Part of the bigger. I'm the white man. Whatever. All of it is because everybody has had life on easy mode, and it's the welfare. We've given them money. Whether that welfare comes from a direct government check, all right, or rich parents, which is also, and the parents don't even have to be rich. Just dad has to take out a loan to send precious little princess to McAllister to earn a hate my dad degree, right? But the whole point, no one suffered. No one has had their face, or very few people have had their face shoved into reality saying, hey, look, you got to work and earn this money to carve out a living, because they haven't had to. Everybody's just, the government or their parents, or a combination of both, have made life on easy mode. And they've also conditioned and trained them to be immediate professional victims. Any way you can, to make sure that you don't have to work at all, that you need a bailout, that you're disabled, that you had a disability because of a mental disorder, or because you happen to have a different gender, or because you're this skin color, whatever it is, that's what they've been conditioned to. Libertarians to be like, yeah, okay, fine. Come up with all the magic excuses as to why your stupid decisions and your lack of work ethic has led to your poverty. You come up with all that. As long as there's a welfare state, don't care. I'm sorry, as long as there's not a welfare state, we don't care. But now you're saying, well, we got to do something about it. Oh, no, we really don't. And the reason why is baked into libertarianism is responsibility, consequences, which is why I am adamant that starvation or hunger or homelessness and cold is absolutely necessary. Because let's say you come up with the most helpless individual, black, female, not binary or not straight, okay, with mental disorder and a physical disability. And or you could, homeless people, oh my God, they have a mental problem. It's always the excuse. They have a mental problem. They're on drugs. Okay. Well, if you stop bailing them out, whether it's the truly oppressed individual, according politically, or someone who's on drugs and homeless, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. But when it comes down to death or getting a job, inevitably they'll make the right point. Mother Nature will take care of it. All right. The law of nature, survival of the fittest day. And if someone is threatened with death, not because someone's going to murder them, but because they don't get off their lazy ass and get a job and get some food. If you give them the choice, like if you stop bailing them out, it'll work. All right. God, I know someone personally who has just been bailed out for decades, and all the idiots who bailed them out, ranging from everything from therapists to psychologists to the state to lenient judges to parents to relatives to friends to strangers. He just needs a little bit more. No, you keep enabling it. You never let that guy or this, other guy's person get threatened with death. And here in the United States, we always bail people out. Even the nonprofits, like, here's some food. I have another buddy who, good Christian, he spends time at the church handing out food to the poor. And I mock him regularly, constructively so, but I mock him because he always goes and he comes back and complains. All these people that can't have food. And then we walk away, we got to pick up after them because they throw out the beans or they throw out whatever they don't like. I'm like, just let them starve. Let them. Don't feed the raccoons. Don't feed the bears. Don't feed the wildlife. It teaches dependence. We'll do it with every other animal. We'll do it out there at the zoos or the public parks or whatever. When it comes to human, oh my God, we got to do something. Let them starve. Because I don't care how bad their situation is, however disabled they are, or a black woman with autism, I don't care, or they're genuinely homeless, they're genuinely alcoholic and mentally ill. When it comes down to work or die, most will choose work. But Aaron, what about those who have a genuine mental disorder and they would die? That's possible. It's not common, but it happens where it's like people live in tent cities in Minnesota. And a cold spell will kill some homeless people. Again, How is this my responsibility? Now, TFM, he talks about Singapore as the best model so far, economically, politically, the world has come up with. And if we are going to now talk academically, what kind of system we should implement, I would be implementing one of not even survival of the fittest. It's just like, you are not entitled to other people's labor. That's it. You're not entitled to other people's time. I would let starvation, hunger, cold, misery, and pain prompt people to change their lives and start making better decisions. I'll give you one more example, then we'll go through the two type of government institutions. If we didn't give single moms all the money in the world, do you think they'd stop at one? Do you think they'd be like, oh shit, I got to pay for my kid and work? There's no dad around? Okay, mom, they'd be going and getting tubal ligations. They wouldn't be forgetting their birth control pills. But no, you bail them out all the time. You pay them money. Well, they go have 5 more. And everyone's a Scooby-Doo mystery. Right? I'm not saying that's the economy or government you want to put it, but you're saying like, look, they're going to make stupid decisions. Well, what kind of system should we have in there? Well, there you might want to have some more of a Singaporean system where the government makes you save for retirement. The government makes you, I even believe, pay for healthcare. It's like, okay, you're going to do this. And you're right, because people are stupid. Do you want nature or the government to force them to do the right thing? So with the government, it's like, okay, now we're going to have to give edicts. We're going to have decrees. We're going to have laws. And Singapore's pretty strict. I don't know if you get caned for chewing gum anymore or whatever. I don't know if they're that strict anymore. All right, but you got, because people are stupid. They're little children, and now you got to babysit them. So maybe that's what you're talking about. So, and maybe that might work. Yeah, but yes, if you say we as a society are responsible for it, well, now you're going to have to vote in either rules or an actual welfare state or a combination of both to account for the fact that people are going to make bad decisions. Me, libertarian, not my responsibility. You didn't, too bad for you, boomer. You didn't save enough money for retirement, but you got some really sweet cars in the 80s. And you went to some sports bars and you had really poofy hair. Cool, bro. You're going to work. I can let people die in ditches. I don't care. I don't care. And one might argue, okay, well, this one's more passionate. Don't you have some kind of camaraderie or sense of community? No, not really. Most people in the United States have been assholes to me. Most people are. I am a misanthrope. I think most people deserve punishment by their own hand. I have no care for my fellow man, at least not in the United States. And if anything, I'm going to protect my own family. It's meritocratic too. I'll protect some friends before I protect some family members. But if you want this academic discussion about, starting to believe libertarianism is a privilege of high IQ individuals. Furthermore, if most people are complete NPC retards, we need to orient society towards conservatism, since most people will trend towards degeneracy as we are seeing today. All right, now you get to babysit. Do you want to spend the time, labor, and money on that? Do you want to make laws? Do you want to enforce those laws? Do you want cops to go and hunt people down because they got an ounce of pot? Maybe it is an issue of maybe you have community, maybe you have family, maybe you'd like to see society, excel and succeed in the end. I'm more of like, that sounds like a headache. We could even use a modern thing. I think fat women are a negative externality. So are men too, but I'm not interested in men. I think it's one of the worst things that's ever happened to this or any other society. I think they're gross and disgusting. I do not like looking at fat women. Do I want a government program? Do I want some laws that says women or men can't get fat? And now we got to go and look at what you're eating. And now no. The compliance cost, the babysitting. No. Go eat. Watch Lizzo. Ask her about her fat sweat treatment. Oh, what do you use to treat your fat rolls? Like the sweat, what do you, that antibacterial, what is it called? Anti-lizobacteria go. Oh, I got to get that. Man, I don't care. Go do it. Because look, paying taxes is one thing. Babysitting people? No. I'll let death and starvation and cold and hunger and Mother Nature do that for me. But we have to get rid of the welfare state. That's what you would have to do, is you'd have to get rid of the welfare state. And so I know you're well intended. Is libertarian a privilege of high IQ individuals? I wouldn't necessarily high IQ individuals, but logical individuals. Yeah, I mean, it would correlate with high IQ. But libertarianism, it's not a privilege. It's reality. Certainly its economic model is free markets, leave people alone. And anytime you try socialism, it will have a shelf life. But libertarianism is like, no, you reap what you sow. No, you work and you get the money. You don't work, you don't get the money. So that economic system, I mean, we had it. And we were doing great. The United States became the richest large country in the history of the world. And we did it without the aid of slavery, as the Roman Empire. We had slavery in the past. We fought a civil war, but then you look at 1865 and afterwards, like, holy cow, look what we did. That was due to the economic aspects of libertarianism. It was just free market capital, just freedom. That's all it is. But the political stuff, like, no, leave me alone, which the U.S. does not necessarily have a history of. Like arresting Jim Morrison for being himself. The parental advisories. You guys remember Two Live Crew? Am I dating myself there? Like, oh my, Tipper Gore. Al Gore, Democrat wife, wanted a parental advisory. Ooh, we can't have you listening to the devil music. Ooh, Dungeons and Dragons isn't bad. So we don't really necessarily have a, they're against abortion, but Democrats are now against guns. Well, wait, hang on. Libertarianism, no, you get abortion and guns and the responsibility that comes with both. Ooh, responsibility. But speaking from an economic, political system, free markets, libertarianism is what's worked best. It's because it's most congruent with Mother Nature. If you don't work, you're poor and you'll starve. Get off your ass. And we're going to leave you alone at the same time, too. I don't care what religion is in charge, what group of people with their culture. Nope, you can, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, go do your thing. It's so freaking simple. So I don't know if it's a privilege of high IQ individuals as much as it's just like people who could take 2 seconds to think and say, like, is it really bothering? Does it hurt me that there's I'm trying to think, a gay nightclub in town and that there's drag queen shows? No, not really. Just if I don't like it, I won't go there. None of your business, man. Just as, this white guy over here, white and a penis, he makes a lot more than me. Well, did he steal it from you? No, he didn't. Then shut up about being poor, not a white guy. It really is pretty simple. But once you start saying, oh, I'm responsible for my brother, I'm responsible for people in society, woo! Now we're opening up a whole can of worms that libertarianism is just not about. And so it's not a privilege. It's a reality everyone gets to deal with. It's whether they are logical enough, I would say, or smart enough to say, hey, we better get hip to this jive of work and supporting ourselves and not enslaving other people to support our asses and leaving people alone. We better get along this is a very simple rule to follow to not only have a successful economy, but a functional society. I don't care if people do it or not. They should. Things will go a lot better, but I don't care if they do or not. In my own individual, now we go from macro to micro. Like, okay, I'm going to interact with individual people, choose what I do, choose who I hang out with, choose how much I work. But it's like saying, oh my God, people don't like reality. What do we got to do to help them? Nothing. Let them suffer. Let them starve. Let these idiot kids, 30-odd-year-old adults, with their student loan debts have to pay back their student loans. Suffer your stupid decisions. And if we remove the welfare state and parental help and nepotism and cronyism, Daddy's little princess, and just let people suffer the full cost of consequences of their mistakes or their decisions, a lot of these problems would go away. And we wouldn't have to have some kind of fraternal, what's the word TFM uses? This patronizing? No. This paternal? I think maybe that was the word. This nanny state making decisions for you. I don't think libertarianism is all that complicated of a concept. Maximum social freedom, maximum financial freedom. What don't you get? You let people keep the vast majority of the money and you let them do what they want. I don't think that's beyond an IQ of 89, 90. What you really got to do is worry about envy, because if you let oh yeah, that guy worked really hard, busted his ass off. And then inferior human beings will be like, oh, he's got more than me because he benefited unfair. No, shut up. You're just a lazy sack of shit who didn't want to work. That's it. It's not the patriarchy. It's not Trump. You were a dumbass. You didn't work. You did drugs. It's not the Republicans in the Senate. But that's a different thing. That's the 7 deadly sins and Democrat strategy on mining envy in human psychology. All right, let's go to the super chats. If we got any. Oh my God, 11. Captain, $5. My neighbors party loud 24/7. I've tried talking to them many times, yet they act like they are victims and think I'm bad. Why do they think like this? Because they're disingenuous people. They're bad people because they put themselves ahead of you. And everyone should be treated equally, including yourself. You should have humility, or at least logic, and say, like, I'm no better than this other person. 5 minutes of my time is not more valuable than 5 minutes of somebody else's time. They don't respect you. That's how simple it is. People are scum. Look, as time goes on, I can't wait for a collapse. I can't wait. Although I'm kind of happy because most scumbags make their own decisions. What are they doing? Partying 24/7, getting drunk? And I know it sounds fun. What's the real life like? Get out of there. Move. Right? And if you can't do that right away because of circumstances, make the right choices to escape. Life is it's a marathon. It's not a here and now. Why do they think like that? Because they value themselves more than they value anyone else. Beyond self-survival and self-supportation. Hatton Clogs, $2. But Cappy, millennials have lots of pride. What's the white flag? That's not surrender. That's fine. They got a lot of pride. I'm okay with that. They can have a lot of pride. The only problem is if that's the only thing you got, like, oh my God, I'm not straight. And? What do you mean, and? Like, and? Are you a plumber? Mechanic? Do you an accountant? What do you do? It's not an accomplishment like who you like to have sex with. Ken Rose, $2, just gives a thumb up. Hey, Django Geek, how you doing? $5. How does libertarianism deal with the public nuances like factory dumping toxic chemicals into local water supply or a laboratory leaking viruses? Yeah, there you're going to have to get government intervention. Now, some people would say, "Okay, now you're really dopey, pot-smoking, bearded libertarian economist professors would be like, well, then the people in the local area would try to somehow come to a private sector." No, just have a judicial system. We don't have. I'm not an anarchist. People are not rational. Here's where Cappy becomes a tyrant. You need the right hand of the government to come in with people with guns and say, knock that shit off. And you could try and reason and rationalize it. We could form a community and everyone decides to boycott the bad corporate. No, just have a regulatory agency staffed by competent people. I know it's a dream. People wouldn't buy it. I mean, I don't know. They're dumping toxic femininity into society, and look, people stop buying Bud Light. There you go. D-Man 50, $5. An intelligent parasite won't bleed. It bleed its host dry. But what parasite is intelligent? Oh, exactly. Oh, this is why it always goes to socialism, like full-on communism. What, you think some single mom welfare queen says, hey, wait a minute, government spending as a percentage of GDP is already at 40%. If we keep going beyond that, the Laffer curve is going to result in less money going forward. I better tell my fellow female single moms about that so when you stop having more kids, they don't give it. All they know is what the Democrats tell them. Oh, the rich people have so much money. Ah, you're right. Vote more for more D. Keep voting for more D. Generation Apollo, $5. A gem can't be polished without friction, nor can a man perfected without trials. Absolutely, yeah. Oh my God, Apollo, how boring. Everyone, listen to this. Think of your average American today. I was going to say millennial and Zoomer, but now I think about it, World War II is pretty much gone. Think of everyone alive today, from Alpha to baby boomers. How utterly pointless are their lives? What boring, common, worthless people. Oh, you're a Democrat voting lawyer who's looking for a date in your 30s. And now it's time to say you're done with games. Oh my God, there's no brain to talk to there. I'm a video game playing nerd. I live at home. I have no goals. I do my pot. And I'm on Ritalin. And nothing's my fault because I have social anxiety disorder. Yeah, I'd rather talk to a rock. Americans are so unimpressed. And you're worthless. You American, not my audience. My audience works. But you Americans are so worthless. Now that I'm older, I look back at it with almost 50-year-old man eyes. I look at all the bullshit we went through when we were younger. We're like, if you didn't have your hairs banged up, you weren't a cool girl. If you didn't have Nikes, you weren't a cool guy. All of you who followed that are worthless. Whoever set that trend, you're worth. And you look at it now, and these people are divorced. They have no love. They got nothing. All they had was popularity. Truly worthless people. And what are you going to talk about? Impress me. Go in, talk to these. Yeah, the game, huh? Oh, the Milwaukee Bucks finally won a thing. Oh my goodness. How are you alive? Like, man, is that the most exciting thing ever? Hey, you want to go to this concert? Bibbidi Boppity and the Bibbidi Boops are playing. You can hear their music for free on the internet with higher quality sounds, but you can go with a bunch of sheep and possibly like get run over if there's a stampede, paying $20 to sit there and look way over there. Isn't that going to be fun? There's going to be food trucks. Oh, boy. Let me put a bullet in my head. Did you watch the show? I watched the show. I like what they did with the show. Everyone said the same thing about the show that I observed. That's why I know I'm going to watch the show again. I can't wait for the next season. Guys, just why? Why? Django Geek, $2. Violent crime would be massive in this society. No. No, if you got, again, like there would be cops with guns. I would have a military. There'd be a National Guard. And violent crime. See, this is where now we're going to Cappy's ideal world. I'd be a little bit more Singaporean or Middle Eastern with my punishments. Oh, you stole? Oh, geez. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Whack. All right. Guess you're going to have a lot harder time stealing now with one hand. Tell all your buddies and show them you stump. That'll put an end to crime in that neighborhood. I would. I'm not dealing with criminals either. Kaiser Flash for $10 and Kaiser Flash again for another 10. Oh, it looks like you donated twice there, Kaiser. Give once and you create appreciation. Twice you create anticipation. 3 times expectation. 4th entitlement. 5 times dependency. Robert Lupton on toxic charity. Yep. And no offense to you girls, but you girls are dumber than shit when it comes to this. All you girls know how to do is bail out and feed the raccoons. All you know how to do is how to feed the bears. Then you wonder why the bears keep showing up. And then you wonder why when there's a harsh winter, all the bears died because they didn't know to go and hibernate. Donna Hannaford, our Australian agent in the field. Cappy, I see a live at stupid o'clock. I see a live at stupid o'clock. What? Okay. Help me out, Donna. Michael M, $5. Cappy, I'm sure that you know this, but there would be a massive widespread violent riots because so many people are used to receiving government. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, if we were to switch today, which if you're going to do that practically, you'd have to phase out the welfare state. You can't just end it. I've already thought about these, 15, 20 years ago. I'm like, yeah, you'd have to do like, all right, we're phasing out the unemployed, the welfare state. You're getting 10% less for the next 10 years. And so you better start preparing for it. I know. And you know what? I'm okay with violent riots. I'm ready. Are you? Like, if you want to end it right there, fine. Have your violent riots. It would just get a lot of people die much more quicker. Oh, no, not violent riots. You mean like the ones we just had with the welfare state? Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm on a more serious note. Yeah, you just can't take people who all they've known, innocently though I might add, that they don't have to work, and then introduce that concept. Like, yeah, look, dude, you're getting 10% less for the rest, and then they just ease into it. Here's some, and absolutely, there'd be government training programs. And if I were to go, I already wrote about it, but what's his name? He's the most worthless millennial person. He's like the quintessential millennial. I can't remember his name. He was supposed to record this article I wrote. Basically, I would be cracking down on employers and colleges and universities. Like, you're no longer requiring 17 years of education to work for you. You will have training programs. You will not require college degrees. I'd make it so that people could work a lot easier. I'd also get into the trades and like, okay, you're going to train people. I'm going to train my competition, so I'm going to give them crap. Well, you're going to lose your shop if you don't train your competition then, I guess. Look, dude, I know you're a plumber. I get it. I know you're a tradesman. But I know you really don't want to train your rookies, but we need tradesmen. I know you don't want to train your apprentice, so I'm asking you, can you get your dick out of your sister's ass for like 15 minutes and teach this kid how to make a decent weld? All right, then you can go put your dick back into your sister's anus. All right, but can little less sister's anus, a little more training your apprentice. Too dang. Die Castinator, $2. Where might give me that at? Exactly. Yeah, well, there won't be. There won't be. Joseph Hatch at $20 generous dollars. I appreciate your work. No problem, sir. We appreciate you and your Marine buddies. Hat clogs, $5. Yeah, it's from your other video when you said the younger generations have no pride, but we do lots of pride. Oh, yeah, no, I meant pride in your work. Yeah, work, accomplishments, not positions. There's nothing to have pride in a position. Like, I'm against, I always like, I'm against childhood hunger. Well, wow, what a brave take, sir. Man, you must be alone on that cliff. But when it's just like, yeah, we got trans pride, I'm like, good for you. Shouldn't be against them, yeah. Like black pride, okay, I guess. But if that's all you got pretty worthless life, man. But I understand younger generations like taking pride in your work. That would indicate or presuppose. It would presuppose that you did some work in the first place and it was of quality work that you'd be proud of it. Like the landscaping I did. I'm done. Had some extra gravel. And I put that on the driveway. I even took a picture of the clean the clean driveway where there's no gravel, and then gravel where it's like equally distributed. I took pride in that. That's more pride than what you kids have with your liberal arts degrees. Shark Taz, $2. Hey, Cap, been a minute. Hope you're holding up well. I'm doing all right. I got a little bored, a little sad because like there's nothing to do until there's like a poker game later. And I'm like, man, I'm tired, physically exhausted, hauling and shoveling gravel all the time. I had to get the gravel like up underneath the deck where you can't stand. You hit your head, so it's like really like 2 feet. So you had to like toss it up, and you had to get up there, crawl up, and then it's called manual labor. Our Latino brothers and sisters know what that is, but for you American kids, you millennials and Zoomers, that means working with your hands, like clicking a mouse. No, not clicking a mouse. No, like lifting heavy things and getting dirty. Ooh, dirty. All right, I think that's it. Thanks for all the donations. So link below. Curse of the High IQ. Sanity is the future of wealth. Mark my words, going forward, having your sanity is going to be the new form of wealth. Because you'll know, like, hey, I wasn't crazy enough to cut my tits off to be popular in the 8th grade. And so thank God I didn't do that. Or here's one for ladies. Ladies, you want to be richer than any other woman in the world? Acknowledge maybe you want to get married and have kids, and then do it. And say there's nothing wrong with, leaving, the feminist hive mind mindset. So that sanity is the future of wealth. What is the other one? Enjoy the decline, accepting living with the death of the United States. I'm at this stage, I'm welcoming it. I'm like, I want a show. Come on, let's do it. Come on. Cut that electricity off. Make sure there's no more farms. You do it. And hey, you girls, you deny men that you don't get married, don't have sex, only date the top 5%. Let's see how much that motivates the labor force of men. I can't wait to see what the GDP figures look like going forward. Where's all the electricians? All right, that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.